to get going. Gotta catch those runners taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Dr. Chad on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's day trading live stream. Today's Friday, August 15th. S&P currently up 3 points. NASDAQ down 35. Russell's up 2. Dow is up 250. Dow, the strongest of the bunch. I'm not sure what stock or stocks is moving that, but gold is flat. Silver is down 0.61. Notes and bonds a little bit red. 10-year yield a little bit green. Oil down 1.36, natural gas up 3%, soybeans, wheat, and corn are all up a little less than 1%. Euro and the pound, small green. Bitcoin, small green, up almost 0.5%, almost back up to 119,000. VIX, a little overnight contraction, down almost 2%, currently at 14.56. Excuse me. First things first for this morning, I will be entering a 6-7 put calendar at the open. Got a vol contraction, so I won't be entering a 1 DTE. We do have some news. We had retail sales pre-market along with Empire State Manufacturing Index. 30 minutes after the bell, we have consumer sentiment and inflation expectations, which typically don't move the market, but can definitely create a little short-term shimmy in price action. Also, we've got Trump press conference with Putin. I think that's going to be after the bell, but Forex Factory has it labeled as tentative. So we'll see. Hopefully Trump can stay quiet till after the bell. Looks like this is what's moving the Dow. United Healthcare is up almost 11%. Not sure what the news is that came out. Lulu's up 3%. PDD's up 2%. Tesla's up a little bit. On the red side, CoreWeave. Man, the CoreWeave just can't catch a break. Thing is getting pounded. Wall Street did not like the earnings call, whatever was on that. Down another 3.5%. HIMS down 2.4%. Coinbase down a little bit. So not too many big movers pre-market. Oh, Buffett bought United Healthcare. Okay. That makes sense. Opening bell in 5 seconds. Here we go. So my 6-7 should fire here in a couple minutes. I'll get that posted in the calendar channel as soon as it does. Robinhood opened unchanged, falling quickly. Same with all the other crypto-related stocks, Coinbase, MSTR. Circle's actually holding up better than the others. A lot of dips coming in out of the gate. NASDAQ and S&P pushing below pre-market lows. Amazon acting strong again. Thing's been on a little bit of a run. Let's see, as far as semiconductors, ARM is acting strong. A lot of the, basically all the others are acting weak, coming down. PLTR also coming down hard, below yesterday's lows, down 2% now. Why is my 6-7 not firing? Six, seven, a little pricier than normal. Got filled at 545.
Order
A lot
filled.
of times you get filled in the threes.
Order filled.
Look at what's going on next week on those days, but just got filled at my 6-7, so I'll get that posted. Yeah, I was firing manually, and then I revised my bot to have it automatically fire, because I'll be doing that 6-7 put calendar every Friday. So I figured I might as well just automate it, but did not fire for some reason. I had to manually push it. I'll have to check that out later. For now, let's get back to day trades. Hood, a little bit of a rebound, popping back up. Circle staying strong. Amazon continuing to stay strong. Yeah, Meta dip, but a little dip and rip. Nvidia weak. Google now bouncing back. So we had some initial dips, but even though the indices are not really bouncing, some of these stocks are. Amazon really likes that same-day grocery delivery announcement. A little continuation from yesterday, it looks like. OPEX hasn't been relevant in 15 years, Krish. But thank you. Apple had an initial little push up, now dipping. S&P and NASDAQ both below pre-market lows. Russell not quite down there yet. Holding up the best. You already done, Abosh? That was quick. I'm actually re-listening to the audio version right now. After I recommended it, I was like, you know what? I need to re-listen to that. I read it. I read it years ago, but I'm re-listening to the audio version right now. Yeah, it's good stuff. Hood popping up above pre-market highs after a big flush to start. Hood's acting like it's on a mission. S&P and NASDAQ bouncing a little bit. Tesla going red. Russell now getting weaker, pushing through pre-market lows. That's when you reach back in the back seat and backhand him, Abash. Say, shut up, kids. I'm listening. There's your parenting advice for the day. That's how we do stuff in my family. I don't care. I did it when they're 2 years old. Just kidding. Don't turn me into child services. My kids are spoiled. Never been spanked in their lives. Hood still pushing. Circle came right back and dipped at pre-market highs. Bounced back up a little bit. Google hanging around pre-market highs, which is also yesterday's high. Netflix now pushing. I like to get in on Fridays because of the decay is so much faster, but I have not entered yet one. I have not entered one yet. I might do a discretionary one here. See how the first 15 minutes of price action shakes out. I don't want to get caught in a big flush or anything. Microsoft trying to get back in the green. Hood's pulling back. NASDAQ through lows, Russell through lows. you want to take an early runner, Hood might be a candidate. I mean, the market's weak though. So if this market starts getting a little saucy to the downside, it's probably going to pull it down too. Circle staying strong. We also have news here in about 19 minutes. Nothing crazy, but something that might shake the market for a couple minutes. Yeah, the time is tentative though, and it looks like it's going to be after the bell, so I'm not really doing anything around that. Business as usual for me. PLTR, nothing but downhill. Didn't see any volume bars. We're into our third 5-minute bar. No big volume bars. I guess Hood did. Hood had one to the upside. I didn't notice. And it's pulling back to pre-market highs. All right, I'm gonna take a little Hood. I'm gonna take a little Hood calls. We're trading 7 DTE today. Or if you're feeling frisky, you can always go 0 DTE. I'm gonna go a little bit out of the money. I'm gonna go the 115 calls in Hood. 115 calls in Hood. Oh man, it jumped on me. Filled at 258. Could have gotten a better fill for sure. It really bounced quickly. I'll put my first profit target at 280.
Order cancelled.
Which is right below highs of day. And it
Order
hit
filled.
280. Beautiful. Even with the chased fill, still took a nice one. See if we get some follow through for the rest of this. Man, Russell was the strongest. Now it's the weakest. S&P, NASDAQ, Russell all closed their first 15 minutes under the pre-market lows. Hood dipping back down. Man, I had a nice profit in Hood. It just got wiped. I took off more than half, too. Weakness coming in, folks. Weakness coming in hard. Still holding Hood, but about to bail if this thing doesn't bounce.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Apple went red, big reversal in Netflix, everything coming down. Google holding up relatively well. Meta's just kind of chopping, holding up decent. Chips all getting slammed. Banks coming down pretty good. Crypto's coming down. Pretty broad sell-off for the most part. Hood starting to try to bounce a little bit, trying to stay green on the day. Indices still coming down. CoreWeave continuing to bounce through this sell-off, interestingly. Let's see, Krish, what did you have the expected move at? 26.1. I forgot to mark that.
Order filled.
A little bit lower than yesterday's 27.3. NASDAQ coming down to yesterday's lows. Wow, it's a little sell-off coming in. A little bit of a sell-off. What's the juice talking about? Anything? Well, my financial juice is not coming up.
Order partially filled. Order filled. Order partially filled. Order filled.
There we go. Putin's plane is expected to arrive in Alaska at 3 p.m. Eastern, when Trump will greet him. All right, so hopefully they can just chit-chat and keep quiet publicly for about an hour till the market closes. Should be fine. Hood making a bounce back. Never dipped below the big volume bar, so I'm still holding my remaining piece of Hood. Indices, little bounce. CoreWeave is acting like it wants to have a little rebound today. Good relative strength versus everything else. Circle also acting a little steady eddy up through highs of day. And hood is still green, so CoreWeave, hood, and circle holding up the best here. Amazon dipped back down, Google dipped a little bit now, so yeah, those are the three. Looking for strength, something that may take off even more if this market bounces. Those would kind of be the three to watch at least. Krish, what are you, new? Is this your first day? That is not a Mighty 90. Everybody, welcome Krish. It's first day of trading. First day with Navigation Trading. Everybody give him a hand. Are you still using Orion charts? You do that on purpose, don't you? You just love to get a rise out of me. Russell bouncing, S&P, NASDAQ, little bounce. Come on, hood. Get back up there. I mean, CoreWeave is just straight up today since the open. S&P and NASDAQ, a little dip, little bounces, got pushed back down. Bitcoin falling. Yeah, I'm doing my AM iron condors. My first one filled a little bit ago. I bet we bounce on when this news comes out. It's just an excuse for the market to bounce. Right at 9 a.m. Central. I bet we get a bounce. Nvidia getting hammered down 2%. Amazon's trying to bounce. Hood still holding above yesterday's high. I'll be back in 1 minute.
No. Okay. I didn't know he did.
So got a little vol pumped in. I think I will do a 1 DTE. 3 DTE using Monday's options, but not quite yet. Let's see if we stabilize a little bit. Amazon acting like it wants to bounce. Google will bounce. Well, everything's kind of bouncing. Meta, big bounce. So Meta showing some good relative strength on this bounce. Now the banks are coming down. Bank of America was holding up, and now it's really pushing down. This is the kind of environment where you just kind of want to sit on your hands, my friends. Just got, I mean, I guess the bias would be to the downside unless you want to get short. I was just saying from a getting long standpoint. Circle is now dipping. News comes out, news data in 1 minute. I was hoping we'd keep flushing into the news and then we'd bounce. Kind of paused for about 10 minutes. Let's see. Let's see if the news gives us any movement. Ooh, little dip. Little dipper on that news. S&P through lows, Russell through lows, NASDAQ almost through lows. Meta dip, but getting bought up quickly. I'm going to take Meta calls here at pre-market highs. 7 DTE. I'm going 795 calls. Filled at 840. So, see how it dipped on that news, got bought up really quickly, right back above pre-market highs. Now it's it had that relative strength when the market was trying to bounce. It was shooting up, and now it's flying. I'll take some off at, let's go 920. I'll have my first profit target. If it can keep pushing a little bit more. S&P, NASDAQ getting bought up after that little dip. Meta just needs to push. There we go. Filled at 920. Hood is just kind of sitting there. Didn't extend when things started bouncing. Google back above yesterday's high. Did anyone catch that meta trade with me? I know that was kind of fast. It just kind of happened so quickly. Yeah, you had to be fast on that one. CoreWeave finally dipping after about a $8 run. Let's see if Meta has any continuation power in it. Microsoft back in the green. It's super choppy price action so far, though. Google starting to act strong. Nice bounce out of the NASDAQ. See what the old chips are doing. Yeah, nice bounce in all the chip stocks. Really nice bounce in basically all of them. Banks have not bounced. So we need the financials and tech moving together to really have a good move. Bitcoin trying to bounce. So Meta popped up and hit my first profit target, but now it's kind of dipping back down. No follow through yet. Meta is just under all-time highs. Hit it 2 days ago, 795 and change. It's currently at 788 and change. So if things can stay strong, may want to make a run. Hood back up to highs of day. Let's see, what did I get out of my Meta at? Was it 920? Yeah, 920. So I'll put another profit target at 1020. If it can make another push. Wow. Russell did not bounce. So Russell flushed with the other indices, but it's still going down, whereas the S&P and the Nasdaq bounced. And banks are still coming down, so that is a little bit of a warning sign for the bulls. Microsoft acting strong now, trying to push up out of its consolidation. Google pushing through highs of day, almost. Big bounce in Netflix. Big bounce in the chips. Chips are still bouncing, except for SMCI.
Order cancelled. Order partially filled. Order filled. Order cancelled. Order partially filled.
Meta staying strong. Apple staying weak. Apple barely got a bounce on that bounce. Russell's still pushing new lows. CoreWeave strength has almost completely reversed. It's back down below yesterday's low. Down 2% now after going well into the green. I need Hood to make another push through highs. It's hanging in there. Just hanging around. Meta making a run. Making a run for profit target number 2. It's right there. Boom. 1020 filled in Meta. So Microsoft and Meta, nice moves. Actually, and all the chips, a lot of the chip stocks. Nvidia, nice bounce. Netflix, nice bounce. Google, a lot of big bounces. Yeah, Sonia, I'm doing mine. I took the one that's fired so far. You guys don't hear me? Lando, you hear me? Chad, don't encourage him. Do not. Yeah, Lando, if you could point them to where they check their own audio video settings in Discord. Just let them know. Sometimes, well, some people can hear me, so it's definitely on an individual basis. I mean, it's not just Discord, because my computer does the same thing. Like sometimes I'll have to go to my computer settings and update my mic and my headphones or my speakers. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah, sometimes it just flips. Banks are still coming down. Tech is bouncing. Yeah, my audio is all correct. Some people can hear me, so it's on an individual basis. So I'm just going to keep rolling here until folks just kind of figure out their own audio issues. Russell's still pushing through lows. Man, Russell was the strongest to start the day. It's just falling apart. A lot of regional banks in the Russell. Big banks and small banks, I guess, are getting crushed. I guess the banks did not like the consumer sentiment or inflation expectations. Google now through highs. That's not a new all-time high in Google, but getting close. Google hit an all-time high back in February, and it's about to go through it here. Its high is 208.70. It's at 206.80, so a couple more bucks in Google will be a new all-time high. Hood has still not given us another extension through highs of day after that second 5-minute bar. Just kind of hovering right below that level. And Meta acting like a boss, still pushing. I only did 6 lots, so I got out of 4. 1, and I've got 1 left in Meta. Just going to kind of let this run for now.
Order filled.
Lando, can you please put together like a
Order cancelled.
checklist of things that
Order
people need to
filled.
do when this happens? Or like a video, a short video. That way you can just post it when this happens. Because when it happens, nobody understands how to check their audio settings, I guess. Google and Meta still pushing. Netflix trying to get back up to highs. First profit target I hit in Hood, I closed them at 280. It's Currently trading at about 265 right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put in an order in hood for a second profit target. If it pushes, put that in at 310 in case it starts to get aggressive to the upside. Now it's pushing through highs of day. See if hood can make a little push. All right. For those of you who can hear me, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream and then jump back in. Can anyone hear me now? Lando can. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, some of the people could hear me before and some couldn't, so I'm not sure. Just Discord will switch up the audio. I mean, my computer does it too, so sometimes you got to go into your audio settings and reset them to the correct speakers or whatnot. All right, so hood, I've got I put in my second profit target because it's pushing above highs of day now. I put my profit target to get out of some more of hood at 310 if it keeps pushing. I started meta with 6 lots. I got out with 4 and then 1, and so I've only got 1 left, so I'm just kind of letting it run. Meta just hit a new all-time high. Google is on fire. Google's trying to get up to new all-time highs that it hit back in February. It's about $1 away. S&P had a bounce, but it's not really extending the same way the NASDAQ is. NASDAQ definitely strong. And then I'm not sure if you guys heard me talk about this much, but look at the banks. The banks are just continuing to fall. Same with the Russell, which includes a lot of smaller regional banks. So financials are getting pounded. Tech is strong. Financials are getting hammered. SMH is still down 1.5%, but a lot of chip stocks have made a big bounce and recovery after the 9 a.m. news. I don't use a stop loss on these, no. Your max risk is the debit you pay to get in to a put or call, so that's how you manage risk. But after I hit my first profit target, yeah, I really do not want it to go red. But like hood, for example, popped up, hit my profit target, and then came right back down. And so even after taking more than half off on that little dip, I was slightly red on the trade before it bounced. So, I really don't like to, after I take more than half off because I really don't like to go red after I hit my first profit target. But, obviously you can't control what happens. So I was just, if that would have pushed through that bar that had the big volume spike, I would have cut it, but it bounced. So worked out this time. But yeah, you got to be able to manage risk that way. with position size and then just cutting your losses if it goes against your line in the sand. S&P is now looking like it's kind of rolling over a little bit. Russell's still just pushing through lows, no bounce whatsoever. CoreWeave is all over the place, bouncing back up into the green. Yeah, my first couple have fired. Sonia, yep. I'll probably put those into my plan. I'm still tweaking some things on that. I'll probably put those into my plan for September. You know, a good point was brought up in Tim's channel yesterday. I think it was Howdy. Remember Howdy? You know, I completely gravitated away from using deltas because when you're trading a strategy with a stop loss, the amount of your risk can vary dramatically in different implied volatility environments when you're targeting a fixed, or excuse me, when you're targeting deltas, right? Because if, let's say, you're targeting a 20 delta iron condor, well, if the VIX is at 35 versus 15, you're going to get a much higher credit, which then if you're using a stop loss based on your credit, your risk is significantly higher depending on the implied volatility level, right? So with strategies that I was using a stop loss with, it didn't really make good sense to use deltas. So I completely gravitated away from using deltas and started targeting fixed premium, because then you could keep your risk consistent across different market environments. But with trades that don't have a stop, I think deltas does make sense because, you know, your risk is the width of your spread, the width of your wings. You're not using a stop loss, so that doesn't really come into play. So I think for these, I'm going to do some more testing around delta strikes versus fixed premium. So all that to say, I'm still just kind of tweaking stuff, and I'll kind of have the way that I'll be trading it in my September plan, which is in a couple weeks. Hood needs another little push up to hit my next profit target. Meta is dipping a little bit. I just have the one runner left. But I'd like to see if we get some continuation higher. Always learning, Jonathan W. Always, 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 always. That's what I love about the markets. You're never going to figure it out, so don't even try. Just keep loving to learn. Wow, TSM, huge bounce back. All the way back up through highs of day. Whereas some of these chips have had nice bounces but are starting to kind of dip again. AMD is really dipping. Hood just didn't quite get to my next profit target. It's starting to dip a little bit as well. NASDAQ pushed right up to pre-market lows and rolled over. I don't have any filter for Fridays. Fridays have just continued to be the best day for selling premium because of the relatively calmer price action that you see. All right, S&P and NASDAQ, a little bounce coming in. Meta, a little bounce. Need hood to bounce. I'm going to go ahead and enter a 1DTE, or in this case a Monday options 3DTE. I just posted that. It's on the 15 puts and the 85 calls. So it looks like SPX came right down and tagged the lower expected move before it bounced right at the news. I was just talking specifically about the multi-tranche. All right, Meta ticked again through highs of day. Hood is still dipping. My 6-7 put calendar from this morning is holding up well. It's up about 3%. Even after the flush, so that's a good sign. Everything I consider is in that back test that you already have, Sonia. So my 6-7, it's on the 6470. So it's a little over 10 points below the strike, but decent profits coming in. I may add another tranche of 6-7s here with the profit coming in nicely. just put on that 1 DTE though, so I'll wait, see if we get some additional movement before I add anything else. Man, hood is dipping. Did not quite get to where I needed it before the dip. See if hood can hold here. That trade went from nice and green to red to nice and green. Now back to small green. All right, all. I'm going to wrap the stream. I'll post whenever I exit my. I've just got one runner left in Meta. I've taken one profit target in hood. I've got a profit target set in hood at 310. It's got to push back up through highs of day. And then my Meta runner, I will be just kind of watching that one. Use some discretion. I don't have a profit target in there yet. I'll just kind of use some discretion on exiting that last runner, and I'll post when I exit that as well. All right, all. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in Power Hour. Cheers.